It's the holidays, we're wrapping up Halloween right now, and I can't get enough of pumpkin anything. So today I'm gonna walk you through some of our favorite recipes and sharing with you a new yummy pecan pumpkin cake. Aprons on, let's go. The majority of these recipes take canned pumpkin, but I'm gonna show you how I took a pumpkin pie pumpkin and made my own puree one year. I was intimidated by it, but you guys, it is so easy. So I grabbed 4 more pumpkin pie pumpkins to do the same thing this year. So I have my big baking sheet with some parchment paper. I am just gonna put these face down. We're gonna bake these in a 400-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. Look at that. Oh, that's so easy. Comes right off. I am gonna trim the edges. I've seen some people brush them with oil, some didn't. I was worried about burning if I put oil, but maybe I should have, but either way, you're fine. That is 2 pounds, 13 ounces of pumpkin. So this can stay in your refrigerator tightly sealed up to 2 weeks. So I'm gonna start with a new recipe first for you. It's a pumpkin pecan cake. Spray a 9x13 baking dish. We're gonna set that aside. You're gonna need a 15-ounce can of pumpkin or 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. Add your evaporated milk. Make sure that you shake your can good. We're gonna add in 3 eggs, 1 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. You'll need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. Mix it up until it is well blended. Okay, now that that's done, let's pour it into our pan. Now you're gonna take your yellow cake mix out of the box and we're gonna sprinkle it all over the top, making an even layer. This is a lot like the dump cake I made in the slow cooker years ago. I'll share again here today. But what's different about this one is that it has pecans, and I just like the way it turns out better in the oven versus the slow cooker. You're gonna need 1 1/2 sticks of butter, so 3/4 cup butter in thin slices, and you're gonna top that all over this cake. It's a lot of butter, just like the slow cooker recipe that you'll see. These are kind of thick. I guess they're not as thin as they could be, but that's okay. And then you're gonna take your pecan halves and sprinkle those on top, about a 1/2 cup, whatever you like. This is going to bake for 1 hour at 350 degrees. You'll know it's done when a knife comes out clear, and it's gonna cool on a wired rack, and then once it cools, we'll cut into it. This is so good. We even brought it to a Halloween party, and it was a hit. There's not just desserts in this video. I'm sharing with you a few breakfasts as well. And they're great for like Thanksgiving morning. Oh my gosh, you gotta have these slow cooker steel cut oats. They are so good. 1 cup of steel cut oats. Then you're gonna need 3 1/2 cups water, or you can substitute that with almond milk or regular milk. I'm using regular milk. Then you'll need 1 cup of pumpkin puree, teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I'm out of mine, so what I did was equal parts of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and allspice. Then we'll need 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 cup of honey. Don't forget the vanilla. You need a teaspoon of vanilla. Give this a good mix. Now you could cook these overnight and wake up to a yummy smell. This will make your house smell so good. Let's get our lid on and let's cook this on low for 8 hours. Oh, look at that oatmeal. It smells so good. You could top yours with some pecans. That is delicious. Now I like to have mine with a little bit of milk. So good. Okay, I want to share with you this easy French toast. I shared it at the start of my channel, so I don't have the regular footage to clean it up for you. So it looks old, but let me tell you, there is nothing old and boring about this French toast. It is easy and it's delicious. We're gonna start with 3/4 cup pumpkin and then add in 3 eggs. Pour in 1/2 cup of milk and add 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin spice. Whisk that all together till you get it nice and creamy. Dip your bread into the pumpkin egg mixture. Get it on your hot greased griddle. The batter is thick. I did scrape a little bit off on some pieces. They are delicious and super easy. When it's done, top it with some whipped topping, your syrup, maybe some powdered sugar. This is so good. You can't stop eating it. You'll devour your plate. We do every time. Next up is this pumpkin smoothie. It is so good. In the recipe, I used a coconut vanilla yogurt. It just makes this pumpkin shake brought to like a higher level. It is so good. So you're going to need a 1/2 cup of
of milk. You can use anything whole, 2%, 1% almond milk, coconut milk. A half a cup of pumpkin puree. Then you'll need a half cup of vanilla yogurt. I'm actually using vanilla coconut milk yogurt alternative. You'll need a half a cup of ice, a cup of frozen bananas, 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, a half a teaspoon each of cinnamon and pumpkin spice, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Blend on low speed and increasing to high until the mixture is smooth, about 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, it's done. I'm gonna put some whipped topping on and then sprinkle it with some cinnamon. It's not overpowering with pumpkin. It's like the perfect blend. Oh my gosh, this is refreshing. You gotta try this.
So I would love to know, are you already like maybe making some things make ahead for the holidays? Have you already been whipping up a ton of pumpkin treats? I'm just getting started. I'm late to the game this season. But if you don't want to feel scrambled or feel late to anything this holiday season, then check out our She's in Her Apron planners. All of our planners have holiday spreads. I have Easter, Friendsgiving, and Thanksgiving. For the Christmas holiday, I have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, where you can menu plan your own grocery lists for those, assignments, when to cook them, when to start preparing for your big feasts, either 4 weeks in advance, 3, 2, 1, and the week of. You guys, I put everything in the holiday spreads. So if you need a little motivation and want to be able to track all your holiday cooking this year, go check out the planners. I'll leave a link for you down below. All right, let's jump into the desserts, because who doesn't love desserts, right?
Let's make a no-bake pumpkin mousse pie. You'll need 4 ounces of cream cheese softened, and we're going to beat it for about 30 seconds until it's nice and smooth and creamy. And we're doing this on medium speed. 1/4 cup of the brown sugar, then a half a cup of pumpkin puree, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You'll need a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 1/8 teaspoon of cloves, nutmeg, and ground ginger. We're gonna continue to beat this until it's well combined and there's no pockets of cream cheese that remain. Okay, I think we're at a good point. It is so smooth. Oh my goodness. Then we're gonna fold in 8 ounces thawed whipped topping. I said fold in. Here we go again, Schitt's Creek. You just fold it in. If you say fold in one more time, I can't help it, that's all I hear. Oh gosh, this smells so good. You know this tastes amazing. All right, I think that is about the best folding I can do right now. You're gonna need an already made pie crust. It could be pecan, graham crackers, anything. This one is a graham cracker crust. You can make your topping and put it on now and then let it set in the refrigerator, or you could let it set, then make the topping and then serve it up, whatever you like. Then you gotta be naughty and taste it.
Let's make the topping.
You're gonna need an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip, but I don't know if I wanna use the whole container on top of this pie. It just seems like a lot. So I'm gonna like do half the container. So 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon or pumpkin spice. All right, we're gonna mix this in. Now we're gonna top our pie with this. Now you could immediately serve it, or you could put this back in your fridge so the topping can set up more. And there you have your mousse pie. Should we cut into it? I think so. I'm so excited about this one. Oh my goodness, would you look at that? Yum. All right, now we gotta taste it. Oh my word, that is so light. That is delicious. Oh, you can go crazy with this pie. Perfect amount of like pumpkin flavoring. It's so light and airy. And then you get the crunch of your pie crust, and that whipped topping was just enough. You don't need a whole container, seriously. You could probably make 2 of these pies and use 1 container for your topping. Wow, this is amazing. First up, let's make a pumpkin spice bar. We're gonna make this in 2 bowls. This bowl, I'm gonna add my eggs, vanilla, oil, and we're gonna use a 15-ounce can of pumpkin. We're gonna mix this on medium speed until it's light and fluffy. So in another bowl, we're gonna add the flour, the sugar, all the seasonings, the baking powder, soda, the salt. Now I'm going to add this in with the pumpkin mixture, slowly like this. If you have a standing mixer, go ahead and use it. I'm just gonna do a little at a time. All right, nice and light and fluffy. Perfect. I'm gonna spray this and then I'm gonna pour this in. Okay, your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees and this is going to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. Ooh, this smells so good. Let's get it in the oven. Let's make the cream cheese frosting. You're gonna need 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. I'm gonna add the butter. We're gonna give this a mix. We're gonna add the sugar. You can add a little milk to make it more spreadable, and that's what I did. Now we're gonna stir in the vanilla and mix again. We're gonna spread the frosting evenly on the top of the cake. This is a hit every time we make it. I promise you'll love it.
Let me know in the comments what you're whipping up this holiday season. What pumpkin recipes have you tried and absolutely loved? Mention them in the comments and I might just try them.
We're gonna be making a pumpkin pecan bread pudding. For this bread pudding, you can use any bread you like. I have this beautiful French loaf. You need around 12 cups. So for me, it was 2 French loaves. So I'm going to cube it up, put it on a baking sheet and put it in my oven that's set to 350 degrees. And I'm gonna just bake this bread for 10 minutes until the top is golden brown. In a mixing bowl, we're going to add 3/4 cup brown sugar. We'll need 5 eggs. I'm gonna add a 1/3 cup of melted butter and 2 cups of pumpkin puree. We're gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon to my spices here. I have a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, ground cloves, ground nutmeg. Get that in there. So a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're gonna mix that again. And then we're gonna incorporate 3 cups of milk. I'm gonna give my slow cooker a little spray. Put a layer of bread down at the bottom. We're gonna use a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips and I'm gonna do 1/2 of these. And you can throw down some pecans right now. My kids are not big into nuts, so I'm not doing nuts in this, but it would be so delicious. And then I'm gonna do another layer of bread. More of the chocolate chips. Then we're gonna pour our pumpkin mixture right on top and let this soak. I'm just gonna help this along a little bit. Oh, this smells so good, you guys. I'm gonna sprinkle a few more chocolate chips on top. And this is gonna cook on low for 4 hours. And dessert is going to be so good. Oh, would you look at that? And of course, we gotta top it with something. You could top it with ice cream, or I'm using Reddi-wip. Oh my heavens, I wish you can smell this. Look at all that chocolate. This is a perfect fall dessert. I would even make this for Thanksgiving. So good. The next pumpkin recipe is a pumpkin spice muffin. You'll need 1 spiced cake box and 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin. This couldn't be easier. Mix those together. Prepare your muffin tin. I like to use liners for easy cleanup. Spoon your batter into the muffin tins and bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Talk about easy and delicious. Ooh, let's make some pumpkin coffee cake. So you're going to need flour. You're gonna need 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder and then 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Just gonna get that together. All right, we're gonna set this aside and let's go over to our stove. You're gonna heat a pot with a tablespoon of the avocado oil. Okay, you're gonna add your pumpkin, your spices, nutmeg, cinnamon, pumpkin spice, salt. Cook and stirring often for approximately 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, remove it from the heat and then we're gonna add our sugars and the cream cheese to it. And we're gonna whisk that together. We're gonna really work this together so it melts that cream cheese. We're gonna stir and allow to cool for 5 minutes. While we let this cool, let's whisk up our eggs and milk. And we're gonna whisk those together. We'll add this in and we're gonna fold it into our flour mixture. Okay, you can use parchment paper. The recipe suggests so. I sprayed this really good. So my batter has a little bit of lumps in it, but I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, let's make the strudel to go on top. And what you're gonna need is 2/3 cup flour, 1/3 cup granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 4 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Okay, we're gonna combine this and create a crumble. Let's get our streusel on top. Your oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. Bake for 35 minutes. This just got out of the oven and I'm gonna test to see if it's done. It's supposed to come out clean and it's not, so this is gonna go back in. Oh, it is done and we're ready to put the glaze on. So for the glaze, you're gonna need 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. And then to your cup powdered sugar, you're gonna need a tablespoon of milk. And then you're gonna need 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix that up, combine that as best as you can. And if it's too thick, then you will add a little more milk, but you're gonna like droplets of milk because you don't want it too runny and you don't want it too thick. That's the fun part of playing with powdered sugar. That does look thick, but when we run it over like this, it'll do a good job. All right, let's get this on. It is cooled and I am dying to eat this. This smells so good, you guys. Okay, oh yes, that looks amazing. Okay, let's cut into this. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that. It smells amazing. I tasted the crumble already, you guys. Oh, it is delicious. Oh yeah, wow. This is so good. I am a sucker for coffee cake and this is amazing. You definitely gotta try it. Let's make a pumpkin dump cake in our slow cooker. You're gonna spray the inside of your crock pot with non-stick cooking spray. In a mixing bowl, you're gonna add 2 cups of pumpkin puree, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. You're gonna mix that all together. Okay, you're gonna take this and you're gonna spread it evenly at the bottom of your crock pot. Okay, then you're gonna add your spice cake mix to a bowl. And then you're gonna add your butter. 1 cup of butter. Wow, this is gonna be tasty. Don't mind if I do. So I'm just gonna work this in with a fork and get it all crumbly as well. So you just spread it out evenly as you possibly can on the top, and we're gonna cook it on low for 4 hours. So you check this out, and I had some vanilla ice cream. My house smells so good. We'll see how that is. Oh, look at that smooth, but yet cakey pumpkin. Oh, it's just smooth and delicious with the vanilla ice cream. It's time to make pumpkin cinnamon rolls. So you need a packet of active dry yeast. Then you're gonna need 1/4 cup of warm water. And we're gonna let this rise for 10 minutes. To your standing mixer, we're gonna add 3.5 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of the brown sugar, 1/4 cup of the granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie seasoning, your 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, 1/3 cup of milk, 1 egg, and then first I'm gonna combine this a little. Slowly add in our yeast mixture. Okay, there's our dough. So what I'm gonna do is take it out, spray this, put it back in and cover it. Covering it with plastic wrap. I'm just gonna let this rise until it's about double in size. So it could take about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Well, I don't think this is completely doubled in size, but it's been like 2 hours, you guys. This is as far as I'm gonna go. So we are gonna get this out on the counter and we're gonna knead this for a little bit. It says you can add flour down so it doesn't stick to your hands, but this is not sticking to my hands. So now we're going to roll this out. This is not the dough I thought it would be, but I'm gonna make this work. So for your filling, you're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin seasoning, and then 1/4 pumpkin puree, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and you also needed a teaspoon of vanilla. Give that a mix, and we're gonna lay that down on here. So I have 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon mixed together, and we're gonna put this right on top. Okay, we're going to roll this up. I'm guessing on the size. The recipe says you can get 15 to 18 pieces, so I'm just gonna see what looks good and just go for it. I got 14, so there you go. Okay, I'm gonna spray my pan, lay these in nice and snug. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up, let it double in size for about 30 to 60 minutes. Preheat your oven to 375, and we're gonna cook these for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm so excited about these. They look great. Oh my gosh, they smell amazing. So let's make the frosting for it. All right, I have a 1/4 cup of butter, 4 ounces of cream cheese, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and now I need 1.5 teaspoons of milk. Beat this together and we'll have icing. You know, when I moved to Utah, I worked my first job out here at a Cinnabon. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That's why I learned how to make cinnamon rolls. Oh my goodness, would you look at this beauty. These are a keeper.
Okay, if you want some more holiday recipes to get ahead or just to try before the big event, click on these videos here. They're so good. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see ya. Bye.